charger on. We got that on. We got chat on. It is cold. All right, we're ready to go. Marky Mark, good morning, man. How are you doing this morning? Happy New Year's Eve, my man. I hope the new year is going to be good to you this year. Don't forget to eat your black-eyed peas tomorrow. You cannot forget to eat the black-eyed peas tomorrow. James, good morning. Same to you, sir. Good morning, good morning. Happy New Year. Well, wait, Happy New Year's Eve. I guess you could still say Happy New Year. James, don't forget to eat your black-eyed peas tomorrow, man. Don't forget to eat those black-eyed peas. Little update on the Dashmobile. It is running a bit better. I have been running, some injector cleaner through this thing for about 48 hours now. And I think I've gotten it about as good as I'm going to get it. I've been out running it up the streets this morning to see if I could just kind of blow some of the crap out of it. But you don't eat black-eyed peas, you better eat a spoonful, man. You got to have at least a spoonful. I don't know where that tradition came from, but I find it interesting. 3 portions of black-eyed peas, triple the luck. I love black-eyed peas. Y'all want to? I put ketchup in my black-eyed peas. How nasty does that sound? But of course, I put ketchup in about everything. I put ketchup in chili, red beans, black-eyed peas, eggs. I put ketchup in about everything. Sounds nasty, doesn't it? And like Trump, I will eat a steak with some ketchup. So don't let anybody tell you that that ketchup is not a condiment that'll go with everything. Ketchup will go with everything. Oh yeah. Let's see. 3 portions. They are actually really good. Black-eyed peas are really, really good. You got to put some meat drippings in with them, or some meat. And I hope we're having them tomorrow, because I'm going to need all the luck I can get in the new year. I can tell you that. All right. Well, here we are in the same place we started yesterday. No ketchup on tamales. I do. Ketchup on tamales is not bad. Not on them. You just got to kind of dip it a little bit. Gives you some of that good tomato flavor on it. What's the difference between putting ketchup on tamales and putting like ranchero sauce on tamales? Isn't ranchero sauce basically like a sauce? Is just ketchup? It's a pretentious ketchup is about all it is. And I know people put ketchup on it. Pizza with ketchup. I will. So do y'all know those little Totino's pizzas? Y'all know what I'm talking about? I will dip. Ooh, the Texas Fire Commission. Wonder what he's doing. Uh-oh. The Fire Commission's up here in Leander, boys. Somebody's in trouble. The Texas Fire Commission. I can dip ketchup, my pizza into ketchup. I don't think that would be too bad. Again, pizza sauce, it's kind of like ketchup with pretensions. Makes up for crappy tamales. If they're good, they need nothing. I agree with that. I will agree with that statement. You got me on that one. I'll agree with that. And you make some pretty good ones, I must say. You make some pretty good ones. There was a fire on Burton Drive. That doesn't surprise me. Somebody probably said it. I haven't even looked at social media this morning. I made a post on social media and then got right off. Oh man. I got a family member that's hell bent on bringing me down right now. And so I've been kind of dealing with that this morning. Brenda, good morning. My past is, I've talked about my past before with the drugs and alcohol and all that good nastiness, and that I wasn't a very good person back then. And apparently what I did way back when, 20 years ago, is has a lot to do with who I am today. It's all right. What we do when what we do in our past does follow us to the future. But I will agree that good tamales need nothing. I wonder if Miss Butterfly is going to be in today. She may not have even gotten an alert. Jane, well, I'll tell you what. I think I would have, it's funny because I was fine earlier in life. I got married, I bought a house, and, I had 2 dogs and a car and a nice little 2-story house. And then the drugs and the alcohol took over, and that's when I lost everything. So I matured, then dematured, and then matured again, if that would, if that makes any sense. I wasn't a good person back in the day, and I try to tell everybody about it because, your past doesn't make out who you are today. What makes you who you are today is if you've learned from the past. I ended up on the street because of the way I was, and it's, I haven't talked to this person in years, and all of a sudden they're popping back up on Nextdoor of all places, telling everybody that I'm a bad person. That's okay, let them. Since my 20s, I feel I was always mentally 10 years older. Kind of sucks sometimes. I hear you, James, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, when I was in my early 20s, I got married, and we ended up buying a house, and I had I had like a new house, 2 dogs, and a car. And then the substance abuse took over my life, and it all ended very quickly. And that is the same story as 90% of the people that's on the street today. The same story. Past, I was in high school in the 70s. We were required to do drugs. We got graded on it. But I waited until my 20s to let the drugs. My midterm was how good I rolled a doobie. Yeah, Mark. Everybody's past is full of skeletons, man. But this person from my past, they think that phase of your life was tough. Oh yeah, it was, James. It was, man, I about killed my parents over that, and I mean, it was rough. It was rough. My mom, my dad, my brother, everybody. It was so rough on it. They finally ended up having to cut me off, which is how I ended up on the street. And if they hadn't have done that, I probably would have died from the drugs, to be honest. If they hadn't have cut me off and basically said enough is enough, I probably would have ended up killing myself over it. Back out of the chat, hit the like button, hit the comments, come back and chat, pretty please. Brenda, look at you. Yeah, but my mom always stood beside me, man. No matter what, my mom always had my back, and I hope to be that way with my kids, as they get older. Because you know what, when you're young, you always do stupid stuff, man. But the part that makes me the happiest is before my dad passed away, he was able to see me clean my life up, marry, have children. You know what I mean? That's what makes me happy. And that's what matters. It's been a long time since it's been, I guess, around close to 15 years since I've had a sip of alcohol, if you can believe that. It's a chance. That's all about life, though, right? But I just like to, tell people that are on the street today that, it doesn't have to stay this way. You can mend fences with your family. Well, with some of your family, you know, with the way you live in your life in the past, with some of them, you'll never get another chance with them, and that's all right. But with most, you know, with most people from your past, no matter how bad of a person you were, you can make amends with people, and you know, you can get your life back on track. But there's always a handful of people that will never give you another chance, and I'm okay with that too. I had tough love my kids too, James. So proud you cleaned up. I've got a kid to go. Well, Brenda, God bless you. Kid, avoid anything addictive, even work. I was able to control them for a long time. Now you got to understand, but you can control the drugs and alcohol to a certain point, and then is it lagging? Here, let me move up a little bit. You can control the drugs and alcohol to a certain point. Absolute truth. You're on a slippery, or I'm going to try to anyway. And everybody thinks, hang on, y'all. Let me see if I can get, this is the spot I was in yesterday. Let's see if it'll, all right, it should get better. The lagging should get better from here. All right, good deal, good deal. But what's funny is, like I said, you can control the drugs and alcohol to a certain point, but the problem is once they start controlling you, and make no mistake, anybody listening that is, you know, that is using drugs and alcohol, you may be controlling it right now, but at a certain point they will control you, and once they control you, you're in trouble. You are in sincere trouble, and if you can't pull out of that, then it's a big problem. It is a big problem. All right, we shouldn't be lagging too much anymore here. My stats are looking pretty good. But here's the other thing I want to tell you is don't let your past control who you are today. And don't let people from your past control who you are today. Doing drugs in my youth meant my 3 boys couldn't have hid it from me, so I see it as a lesson. Oh, that's on drugs, especially if you've been there before. If you've been on drugs before, they will dabble in the drugs and alcohol. I think that's a given for just about anybody. But you know, maybe there's a lesson to learn out of it, you know. Drugs are here to stay. They're on our street. They're here. They're on the streets. They're not going anywhere. And you know, I just hope my kids are smart. But anybody having parties tonight? Anybody going out tonight? Or are we all old? Behave sorta, still smoke like a train, can't quit my smokes. Brenda, I hear you. I smoke too. I smoke too. And is it lagging again? Why is it lagging? I don't understand. I don't know why it's lagging again. I'm in an area that is very good for club. It shouldn't be lagging. I need to go back to my original phone is what I need to do. Shit, now we're really lagging. Okay, I just changed the frame rate, so hopefully that will fix the lag issue. I just changed the frame rate on it, so hopefully that will fix the lag issue, I'm hoping. I'm sorry, y'all. I really am sorry. I'm trying to fix the lag right now. We should be stable at the moment. Lagging and flashing pixels. Hey, look, you're getting ready for a party tonight. It's all pixelated. Have a party tonight, live band. Well, Brenda, I'm coming to your house. I may actually go clubbing with James too. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Costco and Sam's Club. I'm not such a big fan of Sam's Club, but I am a fan of Costco. So, man, it has been, since Christmas, it has been such a slow news cycle that there is absolutely nothing going on. And I think if you are on social media, you will see that since there is nothing newsworthy happening really, that people are making up their own shit to fight about. Citywide public Wi-Fi. No, they don't, James. Not really. 63, I would break a hip or something. I'm telling you, get some. I'm in my early 40s and I feel the same way sometimes. I feel the same way. I'm just making sure that I have a can of black-eyed peas for tomorrow. I took my grands riding yesterday in a newer Bourbon. Yes, and the dang wheel bearings crinkle worse than my knees. Oh, man, Brenda, I've had... my wife had a Suburban in the past, and the wheel bearings went out on that thing, too. I remember when those went out. The sound it made was horrible. Get some. You got a drone. You go and use your drone to see what your neighbors got for Christmas. That was funny last night. I was laughing about that before I went to bed. That was funny. That was funny. I haven't had any alcohol over 10 years. People say I'm boring now, which doesn't bother me. I just sit back and watch them make acid. That's what's good about it, Mark. You get to see how everybody else was acting. Yeah, but they and that's the hard part about being a kid, is because of the peer pressure. I mean, shit, man, we're old men now, and we still get peer pressured into drinking and shit. So that's what worries me about the kiddos, is if they're gonna get peer pressured into any of that. I hope not. Getsom is a funny guy. He is a funny feller. Have a beer on occasion. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with having a beer. Now, I, on the other hand, cannot have a beer. I have what you would call a little bit of a problem. I have no problem starting to have a beer, but my problem is I don't know when to stop having a beer. You know what I mean? I don't think my wife, God bless her, she has never seen me take a sip of alcohol. I don't think she's ever seen me take a sip of alcohol. 12-pack a year, that's when I'm riding my side. There you go. You just got bored and drink. There's nothing wrong with that. No, man. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a beer to relax and have a good time. There's nothing wrong with drinking at all. Unless you're somebody like me that, like I said, you have problems stopping the drinking before it gets too out of hand. But when I met my wife, she liked to have a drink every now and then, and like I said, my wife is a awesome person, and she has not drank since I've been with her either because of my issues. And I don't know if I still have issues with it now. It's been so long since I've had a drink. I don't know if I would still have issues with it, but I don't want to tempt fate. Does that make sense? I don't want to tempt fate. Yep, Mark, exactly. It'll ruffle feathers, man. You're a teetotaler. Okay, maybe a sip, but I haven't. Okay, yeah, I'll give you on that one. I maybe have had a sip, but I haven't drank anything, and I'm scared. I'm scared to death to drink, to be honest. I know the way I was in back in the day, and like I said, I don't know if I still have an issue with it, but I don't want to tempt fate. Introduce kids to like natural light beer, Natty Light. They may never pick up a drink with the taste. I was a Keystone Light drinker. I drank the Keystone Light Tall Boys. That was mine. We would get them at Sam's Club. My brother used to change batteries in cars in Sam's Club, and when he would get off work, we would go hit the roads and drink Keystone Light. Yes, sir, Getsom. We do all have those skeletons in our closet. And you know what? I've been very forthcoming with everybody about my issues. in the past. I ended up on the streets because of them. I treated my family like shit because of drugs and alcohol, and I'm not ashamed of it. I tell my mom this all the time now. I'm not ashamed of what I used to be, because what you used to be, you know, that right there and being on the street has made me who I am today, and I am not ashamed of it, and I'm not ashamed to talk about it. But these people from my past appear to think that I'm hiding all that shit from you guys. And I'm not. That's all right. I've made a lot of enemies since I've been doing, you know, with Dash, and I'm sure I'll make a lot more. It is what it is. I am not letting that monkey back on, Miss Brenda. But get some, you are right. Everybody has skeletons. And you know, have you guys ever actually sat down and thought about your life in the past and how you know, and think about how, like, some of the crazy shit that you've done, especially like some of the drugs and alcohol? I'm surprised that I survived it. It scares me now to think about how bad I was, and about how much substance and alcohol I was putting in my body, and I am so surprised I have not done permanent damage. But the one thing is I never graduated to needles. Even in all of my drug use, I would never do needles. It was always pills and alcohol. Pills and alcohol. That was my stupidness. And I think everybody knows at a certain point back in the day, it was real easy to get pills from just about any doctor. I'm very glad that they've shut that down and it's not as easy anymore, especially for the younger people coming up today. But now the younger people today, they have to worry about the pills on the street that's laced with that stupid ass fentanyl. That's the crazy part. You buy something from the street today and it may be laced with fentanyl, and by the time you get done smoking it, you're already done. You're dead and you don't even realize it. It's a lot scarier world today than it was when I went back when I was a youngster. You know, even the weed nowadays is completely different than what it was 20, 25 years ago. Everything is different. It's like a whole different world. But I just want people to know that is having issues, that it doesn't have to be this way. You know, you can change your life, and you can be a good person again. I don't miss hangovers, plus people waste their money on alcohol and piss it out. Oh my God, yeah, the hangovers, holy shit. I lost a really good friend due to alcohol in a car accident. So I'm not the biggest fan of alcohol. Piss it right out, man. You go to the bar, spend $3,000 and just piss it into the toilet. So anyway, New Year's. So what do you guys think? Should I do a stream tonight? I don't know if I really want to, or if I just want to stay home like an old fogey. Bring in the New Year's with my chillins. My chillins. I don't know. I wonder where Miss Butterfly is. She hasn't been in here yet, has she? Let me send her a message. Hang on. Okay. Sorry, I sent Miss Butterfly a message. Does Austin have a ball drop? Let's see. Get Some says acid, meth, cocaine, MDMA, no needles, no. Yep. I don't count pot either. I did none of those actually. Get Some. None of those were my bag. I probably will be asleep before midnight. You're right. Brother Ted, good morning. I vote for a New Year's Eve live stream on Rainy Street in Dirty Six. That is what I've been thinking about doing, Brother Ted. New Year's Eve live stream from downtown Austin. That's on my mind. It's been on my mind for about a week now. And the more I think about it, the more I want to do it. The more I think about it, the more I want to do it. Yep, get some. I don't even think I've done any of those, really. No needles. We've all done stuff in our younger years that makes us not proud of doing it. And that is the truth. I'm feeling, let's see, the Rainy Street. Man, you know what? I want to do the streams I want to do a live from 6th Street and Rainy Street. I really do. I really do. So in the new year, Austin After Dark will be Friday and Saturday night, and it'll be live streams from 6th and Rainy Street. So might as well kick it off tonight, right? Might as well kick off the first episode tonight. And then come home and pass out. Wait till you're... I'll get some... Oh shoot, man, you made me choke. Wait till you're 60, you'll see them drop. Yes, it's going to be an absolute crazy mess in downtown tonight. That is absolutely true. And Mark, that's the only reason I'm hesitating, is because I don't want to be on the streets tonight, especially after midnight. Wonder how many people are going to go to jail for DWI tonight. I would imagine it's going to be quite a few people. I would imagine it's going to be quite a few people. Remind me later. My phone keeps wanting to update. Might be better walking the sidewalks. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do, Ted. I was going to just walk 6th Street and then walk over to Rainy Street and just live stream that whole area down there. No driving on the weekends anymore. No driving streams. It's going to be a bunch of walking streams. I think that would be better. You get right down in the middle of 6th Street and let everybody see all the craziness, the fights, the drunks, the arrests. That is the true Austin. People need to see what 6th Street has turned into. But what's scary about 6th Street right now is you have young people, women, alcohol mixed together, and somebody's usually carrying a gun, and that's how so many people end up shot down there. Yes, oh man, we could discover the next Hawk Tuah. Let's just hope she doesn't do a rug pull. The next Hawk Tuah, boy, didn't she crash and burn in a heartbeat? Y'all, that Hawk Tuah girl, she screwed up with getting into crypto. That woman's probably going to end up in jail from that stuff that she's done. I'm not a crypto bro, so I don't understand it, but I do understand that she has a lot of people mad at her right now. A lot of people lost thousands and thousands of dollars because of her. The Hawk Tuah girl, Haley Welch, I think is her name. Some people just shouldn't get their 15 minutes. They can't handle it. But it's crazy that she turned the pump and dump, man, exactly. And that's exactly what they did. And, I found out the other day that the guy that was doing it with her, that I think his name was Doc Hollywood, that is Howie Mandel's son-in-law. The guy that did the pump and dump with her is Howie Mandel's son-in-law. Hasn't been increased on Dirty Six at night, but maybe I'm sure it probably will be tonight, Brother Ted. I think it probably will be. It's going to be crazy on 6th Street tonight. I think it's going to be absolutely nuts. There's going to be a lot of people go to jail, especially after midnight. I'm telling you, James. Ooh, look at the Austin ISD, man. He just got his cop car washed. Look how nice and shiny that is. His wheels are shiny. Look at that guy. Man, his cop car is looking good. I may be old, but I can keep up with the women. Actually, I can't keep up with the women. I wouldn't even know where to begin with the women nowadays, to be quite honest. Did you notice that? I noticed that too. I was looking at that, but thought it was just my eyes. I'll tell you. Buttercheeks! Oh man, I woke her up. I'm sorry, Miss Buttercheeks. I didn't know if you'd gotten a notification, and then I didn't want you getting mad because I didn't tell you. I'm so sorry. God, now I feel bad. I shouldn't have messaged you. I am so sorry. We're just out here talking about girls, drugs, alcohol, cops, and 6th Street. I am so sorry if I woke you up. Harold's like, this dude, man, leave my wife alone. Harold's gonna get mad at me. Nah, just about less than 30 minutes, maybe. Not long. Yeah, about a half hour. Well, I'm sorry if I woke you up, Miss Buttercheeks. Harold did. All right, well, at least it wasn't me. I don't want to make Harold mad. Buttercheeks' husband is a really solid guy. I like Harold a lot. He is a very cool dude. Old man can't date the cute female bartender since she gets off work at 3 a.m. James, let me tell you, I got a story about that. No, it runs, but it's not great. It's running. I think I really need to just change to put the injector in. I think I've got it running about as good as it's going to run right now. James, I used to go to this bar in Richardson, Texas called Chase Place. This was in my early 20s. And there was this knockout hot bartender at Chase Place. And I can't tell you how much money I spent trying to woo that girl. And she had no intentions of wooing me back. But I spent a lot of money trying to woo that girl. Those bartenders know what they're doing, especially when you start drinking. Buttercheeks. Yeah, Buttercheeks has it. She's got raccoon fear. It's funny. Anyway, but how many young people have not spent a lot of money on a bartender, and the bartender had no intentions of giving you the wink? All she's got to do is just give me that wink. Slam bam, I'm feeling alright. Okay, here's a question for you guys. Rick Trevino. Does anybody here know Rick Trevino? He's a country singer. Rick Trevino. Well, let's hope I don't do anything to make Harold mad. I don't want to do anything to make him mad. Harold's too good of a guy. You too, but Harold's an awesome guy. She keeps serving me drinks. She's gotta like me. Holy cow, she keeps taking my money and giving me the drinks, and she gives me that sultry look. Yes, Rick Trevino he's a country singer from the 90s. Let me tell you guys a story about Rick Trevino. I used to play in bands. That's what I did for a long time. I played in bands. And one night we were at a bar in McKinney, Texas, in downtown called the Londoner. That was kind of our hangout. We would go do our show, and then we would come back to the Londoner, and that's where we would drink. And one night, a man came into the bar and was hanging out with us. He was barefooted and sock feet, wearing a cowboy hat. And it was Rick Trevino. We started talking to him. I was like, holy shit, Rick Trevino's here. Anyway, he hung out with us that night and drank with us for about 2 hours in the bar. And then once the bar closed at midnight, we went to a house out in an area of McKinney called Stonebridge. And he went with us. And we sat out there at that house in Stonebridge all night long. We didn't leave that place till 5 in the morning. We just sat out there playing music and singing all night long. I've never got his number. I've never seen him again since that day. But we hung out and played all night long. And it was probably one of the best memories that I have. And we were so drunk by the time it was over that I didn't even think to get his phone number. But that's my Rick Trevino story. Getting drunk and playing guitar and singing with Rick Trevino. Such a good memory. And I'm sure most people won't believe that that actually happened, but I'll lay my hand on a Bible. He was barefooted. He sure was barefooted. Went to high school with Ricky. He's a good dude. Been fascinated to hear female bartenders who've explained how much more money they'll make in tips on any night they wear their low-cut belly shirt. They make a lot of money. You know they do. You know they do. Those bartenders that show a little skin make a ton. I've done that with Johnny Rodriguez. So much fun. Love my fans when they're pro. I'm telling you, Brenda, it's such a good time, man, to hang out with people like that. Even if it's an itty-bitty one. Yes, even if they're itty-bitty, you can make a lot of money doing it. It don't matter the size when the Bud Light kicks in. There was this old bar in Plano, Texas. It used to be called Ivy's. It was right on 75, just north of Parker Road. And every Saturday night, we had a standing gig there putting on an open mic. And half the time, nobody wanted to play, so me and my buddy Eli, we would just sit up there and play all night. They would feed us test tube shots. Have you ever heard of a test tube shot? It sounds exactly like what it is. It's like a half of a shot, but it's in a test tube. And I used to use, oh my God, Jaeger. I would shoot Jaeger. Oh, itty bitty raccoon, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sad story of her life. The test tube shots. And we would get so hammered playing at Ivy's that about halfway through our set, because the crowd would buy us shots all night long. It was like somebody was constantly buying us shots. That if somebody would buy us a shot of whiskey, they would bring us a shot of apple juice. You don't want to offend the people that's buying you shots. So we would start shooting apple juice, and if it was Jaeger, we would shoot grape juice. There's always a substitute. But I'll never forget those nights having to pretend that apple juice is a shot of whiskey. It happened all the time. It was either that or we'd get so drunk we wouldn't even know where we were at. But at the same time, we got a name for ourselves that we could drink more than anybody. Well, my buddy Eli did anyway. It wasn't me. I wasn't the big drinker back then. Test tube shots. It helps when you're the musician to not drink too much. You overdo it a little bit, and your set is going to go very badly. It's going to go very badly. You won't even be able to remember how to play the guitar. Happens all the time, I'm telling you. Happens all the time. A girl can go to the bar with $0 and have an amazing time. God dang, I've almost went broke in that exact situation. And you girls know what you're doing. I am convinced. Every girl that does that, they know what they're doing. Get some. I got a guitar with me right now, man. I got a guitar with me right now. I always have a guitar with me, it seems like. I can't sing worth a flip, but I can play a guitar. But I can't sing. Mr. Buttercheeks himself is in the chat. Mr. Buttercheeks is in the chat. Yeah, I still play guitar daily, multiple times a day. If I'm just sitting around, like if I don't have anything to do, if we're just sitting outside with the kids playing, I've got a guitar in my hands. It's just like one of those things. Hirasaw, she could tell you, that's all I do is play. I am extremely restless right now, James. I want to be on the streets. I'm having Austin street withdrawals. Yeah, and I'm publishing older video, and I can't. I hate doing that. I hate doing that. But at this point, it's one of those things where I kind of have to if I'm going to keep new content going out. The latest on the Dashmobile, basically the same thing we were at yesterday morning. It's running. It's just running very crappily. It's running. It's just not running the way it needs to be. I need to put a new injector in it is what I need to do. And here's the other thing. The injectors are, everybody tells me that knows what they're talking about says, because to put a new injector in, you've got to pull the fuel rail. Everybody tells me if you're going to pull the fuel rail, you need to just go ahead and put 6 new injectors in. Don't just put 1 in. Buy them as a set and put all 6 in and get it over with. You don't want to go through all that trouble just for 1 injector that you may have to replace the next one next month. So I think that's what we're going to be doing. I think we're just going to replace all injectors. But yes, get some. I play guitar all the damn time. Yep, got to pull the fuel rail. There's no way around it. The injectors sit directly under the fuel rail, and if what I've been reading is right, there's an O-ring on top of the injector that when you pull the fuel rail off of it, you got it. You'll probably screw those O-rings up, especially if those O-rings have been on there since it was new. And they're probably dry, so you're going to end up screwing up the O-rings on top of the injectors when you pull the fuel rail. So either way, it's going to be a bit. Well, I don't know if it's a big job, but it may not be something I can handle. I'm doing the research on it right now. I can see the fuel rail. The intake comes off of it very easily, and then you can take the fuel rail off. But I just don't know if that's a job I want to be doing, pulling the fuel rail. I'm scared to do it myself, in other words. But at the same time, I don't have $1,000 to spend to pay somebody to do it for me. You know what I mean? So I'm doing my research. I just need to get the parts, receipt, and record the replacement. Hopefully it adds value when you sell. That's a good point, James. Having some new, in the last 6 months, I put all new coil packs in it, all new spark plugs, a new intake gasket. It's got a new thermostat. It's a lot of new parts. This car, I put over 5,000 miles per month on this car this last year, and I've replaced the brakes twice. I've replaced the tires on it twice. Whitey, she needs new ones. If you'll redo my bearings. Are you talking about the wheel bearings? I know how to do wheel bearings on a Suburban. I can do wheel bearings on a Suburban, actually. It's crazy though, with YouTube, you can figure out how to work on anything with YouTube. There's typically, if it's a domestic car like a Ford or a Chevy, GMC, there's a video out there of somebody walking you through how to fix just about everything. YouTube is invaluable for this kind of stuff. So I kind of look at YouTube a lot as more of an educational platform because there's just so much information on basically anything. There's just a ton of information on just about anything. Bearings are the simple part. Well, I'm just hoping replacing the fuel rail is not going to be incredibly hard. I've gotten down, like doing a brake job on this car. I can do a brake job. I can do each wheel in about 15 minutes. I've gotten good at it this year. Injectors are easier to change. Put some grease on them. The only time it's ever been an injector, it's because of trash. I've even knocked the trash out of them a bit. So, Bill, speaking of that, I have had somebody tell me, actually, I think it might have been you. Okay, so I know which injector, or I know which cylinder that is bad on this car. If I take that injector out, let's say I would go ahead and pull the fuel rail, take that injector out, and I soak it in Seafoam or B12 Chem Tool, could that injector have something clogging it? Is that possible? It is the injector at the end of the rail on the front. It is 100%. It's the injector at the end of the rail on the front. But is that possible that it could have some kind of trash floating around in it that's making it hang? See, I don't know, Brenda. That's a good question. I don't really know. My diesel, I would never do that work myself. There's a little, so if I pull the fuel rail, if there's a little screen, that little screen could be clogged then, huh? Maybe I just need to sit down today and pull the fuel rail and see if I can get it to, and just see what's happening with it. Then I can take out that one injector and I can even soak it in some B12 with carb spray. I need to think about this. So let me ask you this, Bill. Because this issue had been intermittent for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. It was getting bad and then it would stop. I would have issues. I would have misfires and then it would stop. If it was a blocked injector, if there was trash in it, could that be something that is that it's causing that? Turn it on the end and beat it on the rad support. See if a chunk comes out. We had a SkyTrack on the job, ran it once. Oh man, check the fuel religiously after that. Boy, I tell you what, Brenda. I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull the injectors today. I'm going to go home and I'm going to go ahead and pull the fuel rail and look at the injectors, I think. Because it is 100%, the motor is sideways. So it is the very last injector on the front of the motor at the end of the fuel rail. That is the one that's jacked up right now. I need to think about this. God dang it, I love you guys. Thanks so much. Bill, all of you guys for giving me all this advice. Thank you so much. I don't know what I would do without you guys. The engine's cold, there's fuel pressure. So I need to let it cool down. Got it. That's good to know. That's good to know. Man, too bad I can't do it right now. It is as cool. It is very cool right now. 518-655. I don't know who that is. I got a number coming in from New York. No, it's the number. So on this car, I believe it's staggered. And I believe it's the, unless I've got my firing order wrong, I believe it's the front, the very front one at the end towards the passenger side. So it would be actually, that's the back of the, was that the back? No, it's, yeah, the back of the motor. So it's on the front of the motor, and it's the very last one. Unless I've got my firing order wrong and I looked it up wrong. I've got it written down at the house. Now, here's the other thing. I was trying to find the firing order of this engine, and there seems to be some disagreement online about what the actual firing order is. I've heard different things. Okay, so it's the rear cylinder. Okay, so in this engine, the rear cylinders are 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it's not staggered. It's not 1 on the front, 2 on the back, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3 on the back, 4, 5, 6 on the front. So it's not staggered. Okay, I'm glad you told me that. So it is the back. So I am going to have to take the, well, you know what? Either way, I'm going to have to take the intake off, which means I'm going to need a gasket. Man, that sucks too, because I just replaced that gasket about 5 months ago. The intake gasket. I'm just hoping it's not the harness itself. I was talking to some people on a forum last night, and they were telling me it could be the harness that runs the injectors too. Yeah, I've got the book here in the glove box. I do. You know what? It probably would help to look at that. Would it tell me that in the manual, in the book that came with the truck, with the car? We're back on Shade Tree Mechanicking with Dash. We're back with the Shade Tree Mechanic. I don't know who that is that keeps calling me from New York. Okay, the service manual. It should look under your specs. All right, I'll check it out. I think I could probably find the service manual for this car too. Anyway, I appreciate everybody's, Brenda and Bill, all of you guys, man. Y'all are good people, good mechanics. It's hard to come by. Good mechanics are hard to come by. But, oh, my chat reset. I thought Mark was talking about Black Eyed Peas. AutoZone website. That's a good, that's a good resource. I'll have to write that down. Yeah, so tonight, I don't know if I'm going to do the stream tonight or not. I will do a community post a little bit later today if I'm going to do a stream from 6th Street tonight. I guess that really all depends on if I can get this thing running good enough where I trust driving it down into I YouTubed it. There's a video, Ford Flex P030. That's the error code right there. That is the error code. There's a bit of Ford. Brenda said something and I can't see it yet. Service manual. Yeah, Bill, thank you so much for the info. Brenda, I'm still waiting on your message to pop up. My chat's a little slow this morning. You know who we don't have in here this morning? We don't have Jeffrey in here this morning. We don't have Jeffrey in here. Why is my chat not updating? I see y'all sending in new chats. It's just slow to update on my side. Oh, that's right. That's okay. I just saw that about Houston. Come on, update my chat so I can see it. There it goes. Brenda says, well, I've been working on cars since before you were born. That's the truth. Bill knows the codes. Yeah, and I appreciate all the advice. Bill, you, Brenda, and Sadie, y'all have helped me more. And I need to check my email. The dash, so I think you sent an email to the dash 8 from dash 18. I think that's the Streets of Austin at Proton Mail. I need to check that. Oh my God, James, I saw that. You know what? I saw that last night. It was the fire truck. It was one of those, I think they call them tillers or something like that. And they had just the ass end of the fire truck still on the tracks when it got hit. How crazy was that? Speaking of how crazy was that, did y'all see that story? I was wanting to talk to you guys about this. There was a story that I saw with that. After I watched that video, the very next video up on YouTube was a cop, and I can't remember exactly where this was at, but this cop put a lady in his cruiser while it was sitting in the middle of the tracks, and he handcuffed her and he put her in the cruiser. And then I'll be damned if a fire truck or a train didn't come by and hit the cop car with her in it. And he was charged with manslaughter. He was charged, and he wasn't found guilty of manslaughter, but he was found guilty of like deadly behavior. Okay, Bill, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, but why would you put a female or anybody in your car handcuffed and then leave them sitting in the middle of the railroad track like that? Holy moly, man. He is so lucky that I just, you know, it's so sad. I cannot believe that woman died that way. Man, if that was somebody in my family and a cop did that to her, holy shit, we would have issues. Yeah, he was found innocent on manslaughter, but he was found guilty on deadly conduct and one other thing he was found guilty of. I don't know why he had his cruiser. He was parked, I mean, literally straddling the tracks. So, you know, the tracks went basically right under the T-post of his squad car. There's a video of it happening, and it is a wild video. And, you know, how hard is it to see a train coming down the tracks from a distance where he won't move her? I mean, come on, man. It's wild, Butter Cheeks. That cop killed that woman for no reason. He handcuffed her and put her in the back of the squad car, and then let a train hit the squad car. And how he didn't put two and two together when he heard a train coming and to get her off the tracks. So I agree with the charges that he faced on that one. That was crazy. And in the investigation, he stated that he forgot that she was in the back of the car. That's not a very good cop. That's not a very good cop at all. Butter Cheeks sent me a message. I need to look. Hang on, guys. I'm not going to be able to see the chat for just a second. Okay. Thanks, Butter Cheeks. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. All right. Anyway, guys, we've been live for an hour now. I think we're going to end here for the day. If I decide to go ahead and pull the fuel rail on this here in a little bit, I may just do it live and hang out with you guys. Have you seen the one with the guards that killed the inmate? Are you talking about which one? Where was that at? I've seen a couple about that here recently. I saw one that happened up, I think it was in New York, where the guards in the jail were just beating the absolute snot out of this prisoner. He was, the video shows him, he was kind of, looked like he was laying in a hospital bed almost. And he was handcuffed, they were just beating the absolute snot out of him. Okay, I'll hang out. Hey, look, I love talking to you guys. I don't mind talking. I just don't want to bore you guys to death sitting here. I'll stay live for as long as y'all want to stay live. I am good with it. Yeah, that's the one. I'm telling you, the way they were beating that man, and then they were all sitting around smiling about it, and he was obviously not a threat to anybody, but they were beating the brakes off of him is what they were doing. They were beating the brakes off of him. And I'm telling you right now, if they don't face charges, that's going to be a big problem. Easier to fix the front ones. Yeah, the coil's much easier to fix the front ones. So rotate the coils and see if it propagates to. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, they those cops up there, I think it was in New York, man, that was sickening to watch that video. They got nothing but time. They got nothing but time. Butter Cheeks isn't retired. She is fully in the middle of the soup. Yeah, they if that had, I don't want to say this, but I will say it. That video came out. If that had been a person of color in that video, we would be having a much different conversation right now. I think, I mean, I don't want to be that guy that points that out, but I am absolutely, I think absolutely I'm right about that. Mr. Butter Cheeks is like, that's it. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm retiring. But I keep putting it off. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's I wished I could retire. You guys want me to tell you the truth about something? I don't know if my wife is still listening, but she knows. I think she's gonna know what I'm about to say. Sometimes I wish that I had never started Dash, to be honest. It usually about once or twice a week I regret doing any of this, and I wished that I was still just doing my normal day job. I hate to say that because, you know, we're having a big impact on the city, and I understand that, and we have made a huge impact on the city. And what you guys see here on YouTube is just a fraction of what we're actually doing. If you were on X, you would see a lot more of what we do. But on a lot, I wish that I'd never started Dash. Does that sound selfish of me to say that? I don't know. It's just, it's tough running a channel, especially when you're been slapped around by the powers that be so much. TK, I appreciate that, man. I do. But and don't get me wrong, I know that you know, we're having an impact. I know what we're doing is impactful. But I'm making a lot of enemies. That's hard to take. There's so many people out there trying to prove that I'm, you know, some kind of a evil person. You know, I've got at least 2 people right now that's on a mission to prove that I was a bad person in my life, and you know, it is what it is. Good, Brenda. Good. Well, there's just a lot of people that do not like what I'm doing, and they try to make my past into my, you know, as what I am doing now. And you know, like I said earlier, I've always been very honest about my past. I have always been honest about my past, about the issues that I've had in my life, which led me to the streets. And in a way, the issues that I've had in my past have led me to do what I'm doing right now. Yes, Bill, I wish there was more people doing it, to be honest. Same here in Denton, because I'm against homeless camp. I see, exactly, Getson, that's what I'm talking about. There's people out there that, you know, because I've built a following doing this, and I actually had the eyes of the public. People treat me like I'm an outcast, like I'm a demon. And the shit talking is just getting out of control. You know, things that I've done back in my 20s are being held against me today. And I just don't get that. It's like these people think that I haven't been, that I've been hiding my past from everybody. Houselessness is up 100,000, 18%. It's way up right now. It's way up. Yeah, it's coming from, would you like to know what platform it's coming from? Nextdoor. Good old Nextdoor. Nextdoor banned me within a week of joining. My one is sticky. Yep. Bill, it's way up, man. It's way up. But yeah, there's like a whole crusade growing on Nextdoor about what I do. It's all good though. Yeah, I have TK, and they're not big fans either. Everybody calls me sketchy and weird over there. If I posted something over there, they would not appreciate it. I don't think I could ever. It's tough, James. It's tough to be in the public eye, especially on an issue that's you know. I've seen some of your screenshots, Max, on there. Man, yeah, they don't like me over there too much on r/Austin. Yep. Well, most of the people out here on the street have the same story that I have. They got on drugs or alcohol, and it just spiraled out of control until they were on the street. They treated their family horrible, so they have no place to stay, and you end up on the streets. I have the same story as 90% of the people out here. You end up on drugs and alcohol. You treat people so badly, they finally say, you can't, we can't do it anymore. And then you end up on the street. And post them if you're not on the left. You attacked hardcore over there. The people that hate me have never been poor or hungry. Hypocrites with no knowledge. I'm telling you, get some. I'm telling you, man. You know, I tell people all the time, if you can survive life on the street, you're a strong person, especially if you can make it out of the other side. You know? And you know, thank God that by the time I ended up on the street, I didn't have the monkey on my back anymore. and it made it much easier for me to leave the streets. But I don't know, man. You know, having the public eye on you all the time, and you know, everything you say, everything you do is under a microscope. And then you get people that think that they know you and say this or say that, and then the rumor mill starts, and it's just it's hard to take, man, knowing that there's people out there right this second typing up some very nasty messages and trying to ruin everything for you. It's hard to take. It's hard to live with. It is very hard to live with that. And you know, I've had people say, well, why don't you go over to next door and tell them, you know, what's what? It's like, I don't want to go read those messages. If I read the messages, that it would probably drive me insane. You know what I mean? So I don't read them. Every once in a while, somebody on X will tell me what people are saying, but I don't want to hear it. It drives me crazy knowing that it's happening now. And it makes me want to just stop doing this. It makes me want to just stop. You know what I mean? Like, I get to the point where I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore. You know, I don't understand how, you know, somebody like Alex Jones, if you're as big as what they are and the crap that they put up with, I don't know how they put up with it. You know, I'm a very small time creator, and you know, the crap that happens here is wild. I can't imagine being a big famous person like Alex Jones or, you know, any of these creators, because I don't know how they deal with it. Lots of issues other than homeless, the cops and our accident, like they didn't even care really. There was a traffic camera cop even told me it didn't work. I'm telling you, Bill, I'm telling you, man, it's wild, isn't it? It's wild. Anyway, guys, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks everybody for stopping in and chatting with me. Like I said, if I decide to go through and pull the fuel rail off of this in a little bit, I'll kick the camera on and we can have a chat. I don't expect anybody to come in and watch, but if you want to come in and say hello, that would be really awesome, and I would very much appreciate it. But yeah, I just I'm getting tired, if that makes sense. It's wearing me down, boys. It's wearing me down. Happy 2025, James. Happy New Year's to you, sir. I will at least have one spoonful of black-eyed peas tomorrow. Stop caring what people think about you. Butter Cheeks, I think that I do. I don't care to a point, but at the same time, like, I have worked my ass off this last year, especially trying to help people, trying to hand out water, blankets, jackets, trying to do this and and I've worked 7 days a week to get where I'm at right now. And then to have people come in and say that I am only trying to help myself, I'm not helping anybody, I'm a loser, you know, you were a druggie, you know, you're a con man, you're this, you're that. It kills me, man. It kills me. And, you know, especially because I try to make everything public. I try to show everybody what I'm doing. And to have these people come out of the woodwork, people that I have not talked to in years, you know, are coming out of the woodwork. And I just don't understand it. Well, I wish that they would just go away. And I get it. It comes with the territory. If you're going to do something like this, you're going to have the people that will come and come after you. But it doesn't make it, the stress, you know, I don't know. I'll quit complaining. You know what? If this is all I've got to complain about, then my life is pretty good, right? I mean, honestly, I mean, it is what it is. But I will shut up and I will stop complaining. Obviously, it's bothering me. I've talked about it pretty much this whole stream, but we're against the border wall, but we lock our doors. Yes. Well, Butter Cheeks, I know at least one of them is sitting on their butt doing nothing. I know at least one of them is sitting on their butt doing nothing. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, but I'm not running a Clinton charity. That's for sure. But, you know, and in the new year, we're going to stop fundraising. So then what are they going to have to bitch about, right? Seriously, what are they going to have to bitch about then? they're not going to have anything to bitch about. Anyway, I love you guys. I will see y'all tomorrow, maybe today. Like I said, you know what? I'm going to go back live a little bit later anyway, just because I enjoy sitting and talking with you guys. I enjoy it very much. But you guys have a good day. If I don't see y'all again today, then I will see you tomorrow. For sure, I will see you tomorrow. We're going to actually go onto the streets. I may have to borrow a Dash Mobile, but I will go onto the streets. I love you guys. I will see y'all tomorrow. No, maybe this afternoon. I'm very undecided right now. Maybe this afternoon. Bye, guys.